Hey guys, welcome to my channel. There's a lot of new people here, so welcome. Thank you for being here. Just wanted to talk a little bit about my story and what's brought me to this place. After a lifetime of struggling with obesity, in October of 2021, I started this channel with the goal of losing 200 pounds with the help of GLP-1 medications. And I had tremendous success on Wegovy. I lost over 65 pounds in 24 weeks, but I was forced to search for an alternative when the $25 manufacturer coupon was discontinued. And I hit the first major roadblock in my journey when an overpressed semaglutide sublingual compound did not work for me. Basically, it stalled my weight loss. Thankfully, Mounjaro was approved by the FDA in May of 2022. And in June, I was lucky enough to secure the first version of the coupon, which gave me 12 refills of the medication at $25 a month without a type 2 diabetes diagnosis. And I was filled with a renewed sense of hope. After starting over at square one on Mounjaro, it quickly became clear that my body was not responding to it in the same way that it did to the Wegovy, and my weight loss slowed in spite of me adding exercise and lots of activity for the very first time in my journey. I started feeling really frustrated, and I kind of felt like I was failing as my efforts were not reflected on the scale. In December of 2022, after almost 6 months on Mounjaro and 14 months since the start of my journey, I finally hit the halfway point and achieved my first major milestone of 100 pounds lost. In spite of feeling like Mounjaro just wasn't as effective for me as Wegovy had been, I couldn't afford to just abandon the $25 coupon, and I held on fighting for the next 7 months, losing and gaining the same 10 pounds over and over and over again. At the end of June 2023, my coupon finally ran out, and I was so excited to go back to the semaglutide in the form of a compound made at a local pharmacy in Central Texas called Stonegate. And I learned my lesson last time, and I definitely went with the injectable compound. So I spent my first couple of months on the compound in a maintenance phase, doing my best to give my metabolism a rest and trying to get into a more positive mindset so that I could really focus on weight loss. Which brings me to today. Several weeks ago, somebody made a comment on a recent video wanting to know how much weight I had lost in the last 8 months because they were sure that I had hit the 100-pound mark last year. And even though it was a completely valid comment, and I don't believe that it was intended to be malicious at all, my first reaction was to get defensive. I knew that I hadn't made any real progress. I also knew in my heart of hearts that I hadn't given this journey my all in a really long time. I've had far too many unlogged days, unplanned meals out, diet breaks, and really I've been rationalizing a lot of it away to try and make myself feel better about it. The reality of it is that I'm tired, I'm frustrated, and at this point I feel like a failure. I don't think that it's any coincidence that my progress took a major hit when I stopped recording content for my channel. I get a lot of comments from you guys telling me what a motivation I am to you. But the truth is that you guys have been a major source of motivation for me since the beginning of this channel. And not having those check-ins with y'all on a daily or multiple time a week basis, I think has done way more damage than I realized. Last week, I spoke with Richard about it and the fact that I've struggled with feeling like I couldn't record for my YouTube channel without betraying the promise that I made to him to find a full-time job. And I want to make sure you guys understand that that was 100% me. That had nothing to do with him. He didn't put that pressure on me. He wasn't the one that said, you can't do any YouTube. You need to be working on finding a job. Like that was not what happened. That was just me making a promise to him to find a job and feeling like I needed to stop doing absolutely everything else to focus on finding a job with all of my time. So he and I agreed that I'm going to spend 10 hours a week on YouTube while still looking for a job. Now, that doesn't give me enough time to do multiple super detailed vlogs like I did before, but it should be enough for one video a week. I'm hoping that as I concentrate more on growing my YouTube channel again, that it may lead to more monetization opportunities and, God willing, perhaps a full-time income eventually. Which leads me to this week's sponsor. Thank you so much to Stellis for sponsoring today's video. And thanks so much to all of you who support my content when I share these products with you. But Stellus is my very first, really for real, actual sponsor on this channel. I want to talk to you guys a little bit about sleep. So much happens when we sleep. I don't think a lot of us realize how much exactly happens when we sleep. Studies have found that poor sleep is actually associated with weight gain and a higher likelihood of obesity in both adults and children. Poor sleep may increase appetite, likely due to its effects on hormones that signal hunger and fullness. And sleep is also thought to suppress levels of insulin-like growth factor 1, words are hard, which is linked to fat storage. And lack of sleep even alters the way your brain works and can affect decision making. So that can make it harder to stick to healthy food choices and resist tempting foods in general. In addition, I thought this was really interesting. The reward centers of the brain are more stimulated by food when you're sleep deprived. And another study even showed that sleep deprivation led to increased smell sensitivity to high-calorie foods and a greater consumption of those foods. Most adults need around 7 to 9 hours of sleep per night, which is why one of the most frustrating side effects of GLP-1 drugs is insomnia. Now, I have always struggled with falling asleep. I have one of those brains that just will not shut off when it's time to go to bed. I'm also a light sleeper, which means that I sleep with earplugs, 2 different noisemakers to drown out the sounds that may wake me up or keep me from falling asleep in the first place. Couple that with the gallon of water I drink a day and the semaglutide, and well, you have a recipe for disastrous sleep. Enter Stellus. Stellus is an herbal sleep formula with naturally occurring minerals and low-dose melatonin. Now, I have tried melatonin on its own, even high doses of melatonin, and it absolutely does not work the same. I started taking Stellus about a year ago, and I noticed a huge difference in my sleep when I don't take it. They're non-habit forming, and they don't leave me groggy when I wake up in the morning. I take 1 to 2 capsules about an hour before I go to bed at night, and I find that it kind of helps calm my mind down and so that I can fall asleep more quickly. And it also helps to keep me from waking up as often in the middle of the night. When I do wake up for inevitable trips to the bathroom, it also takes me less time to fall back asleep again. I know a lot of you have tried Stellus when I have shared it with you in the past, and I would love to hear your experiences with it down in the comments as well. Feel free to check out the link down in the description and use my code mindyp10 so that you can save 10% if you would like to try it out. Thanks again to Stellus for helping to support my channel by sponsoring this video, and let's get back to it. The truth is, no matter how much I may feel like it, I am not a failure. I have lost 100 pounds, which is a huge accomplishment. Even now, I have a hard time not qualifying that with a statement of, even though I still have another 75 to 100 pounds to lose. I do that a lot to myself. I belittle the accomplishment that I've already made by saying how far I still have to go. I don't know if that's something that you guys do, but I've noticed that I've been doing that a lot lately. Even more important than the fact that I've already lost 100 pounds is the fact that I'm still trying. In spite of basically standing still for almost 10 months, I'm still here. I'm still working at it. In addition to still trying to lose weight, I've added exercise. I've been lifting weights, and I've been in the gym consistently exercising 4 times a week for the last 6 weeks. In addition to hitting 7,500 steps a day, Monday through Friday. As someone who hadn't stepped into a gym in almost 10 years, that's saying something. Over the last 2.5 weeks, the AC in my gym has been broken, and I'm still going 4 times a week in the ridiculous Texas heat in the summertime. I'm still in the gym. I didn't skip my workouts when I went on my Port A trip for the weekend, even though that would have been a perfectly okay thing to do because I was very active that weekend. All of that is big progress that has nothing to do with the scale. This weekend, while I was washing dishes, my husband snuck up behind me and he pinched my butt. Look, my love language is touch. It's thing. It's fine. I love it. It makes me happy. And when he grabbed my butt, he was like, oh, man, those squats are really doing something. You got some nice definition going on here. And it made me so happy. I know that would probably trigger some people, but for me, it made me glow. Like, the fact that somebody who knows my body arguably better than I do could feel that there's a difference in my body because of the effort and time that I'm taking in the gym. Like, that just made me really, really happy. I was also talking to my sister a couple of weeks ago, and she was like, I had one of those memories pop up in my phone, and it showed me a picture of a trip when we went to Disneyland before I had started my weight loss journey earlier in 2021. And she was like, I looked at the picture and I was like, who is that in the picture with Bradley, my nephew? And she was like, and then I realized it was you. She was like, I couldn't even recognize you. And I can't tell you how many times that's happened where a memory has popped up and an old picture shows up, or I see a thumbnail from an old video that I've posted here on YouTube, and I don't even recognize myself. And that's exciting. The fact that I have made so much progress that my face and my body before is almost unrecognizable to me, in spite of the fact that that was my body for decades, is just so satisfying. So if you're struggling with feeling like you're standing still, I get you. I'm right there with you. The worst thing that we could possibly do in our situation is to give up at this point, because the reality is that standing still is a million times better than going backwards. And progress looks very different for everyone. Some people are lucky enough to see that constant trend downward. And for the first 6 months of my journey, that was me. I got used to that, seeing that constant downward trend. And now I'm seeing this. But the reality is that it's still progress. Ultimately, as long as my focus remains on making healthier choices, I'm going to get there eventually. Is it taking longer than I would like? Sure. But this is my new normal. So if that's true, does it really matter how long it takes for me to meet my goal? I would love to already be at my goal weight, no longer focused on losing weight. But I think that there's a certain amount of destructive thinking hiding in there. There really is no end point to this journey. There's no finish line. If I want to maintain this weight loss, this is how I'm going to have to live for the rest of my life. My focus may shift slightly when my body is done losing, but the lifestyle will still remain the same. I think the weight loss community, even though our intentions are good, we, myself included, can put way too much focus on how much we've lost or how quickly we've lost it. And even though I know that the number on the scale is a necessary indicator for progress, I would love to see more focus put on the healthy choices that we make every day instead. All right, enough of that. I did want to address the conversation that I had with my husband and what that means going forward for the future of my channel. I am committing to you guys to put out one video a week. Later today, I'm actually going to pick up a used vlogging camera that I found on Facebook Marketplace to hopefully increase the quality of my videos going forward. And as I get back into the groove, I'm going to know what I can accomplish in the timeline that I've committed to. I'm hoping to include some of the vlog aspects that I know brought so many of you to my channel in the first place, especially because that's really the kind of content that I love to make. The better my channel does and the more that it grows, the more that I can justify spending more time on it. So that's where your support is vital. You hear it from every YouTuber. Like the video, subscribe. It is so important, but even more important is engagement. So commenting on the video, even if it's just to say hi or send me a cute emoji, and sharing the videos with other people on social media. All of those things cause the mysterious algorithm to put my content out to more people, which are more potential subscribers, and you get it. So I hope to be seeing a lot more of you guys. Feel free to follow me on Instagram or Facebook, where I tend to check in a little bit more regularly on my stories. And definitely join my new Discord channel, where we have a lovely community of people that are on a similar journey, encouraging one another more on a daily basis, rather than just like a comment or a video where you can't interact with me one-on-one. You're also welcome to check out the link in the description to my Buy Me a Coffee page, where I have recipe cards, a meal planning spreadsheet, and I even have membership options if you're looking to support my content in a more financial way. Anyway, that's it for this video. Thank you guys so much for being here. Again, please like the video if you haven't already, subscribe and stick around, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye, guys.
We're on a journey, looking back on the things that we've taken for granted, but feels like we're learning to be better without what's been holding